Kia ora, my name's Raukura Kingisaya, and I'm here from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I've come here today to share a message with everybody. A message of self-discovery, a message of how to actually support us at this time of awakening on the planet so that we can be the best versions of ourselves. So my role, I guess, that I'm stepping into is to help to influence, activate and alchemize people's lives. And I'm doing this through this channel and through my Facebook page and through the Medicines of Mu, which is what I'm journeying with at the moment. Stunning work, absolutely stunning work that helps us to step into this other higher vision of ourselves. And I don't profess to have all the answers, but know this: I've had many journeys, many life experiences, and I have completely transformed my life. So I'm now guided into leadership and eldership. I'm also a grandmother, and I take my role really seriously. I want us to have a great future for my mokopuna, and especially this is aimed for those that are struggling right now. So I aim to support you in whatever way I can to really help to activate you and hopefully transform your life too. So today I'm going to talk about the warrior. As you can tell, I've got the warrior look going on. I used to be a warrior of destruction, and now I'm a warrior of love. And this is a very timely topic right now, to do some deep inquiry and to actually recognize our true roles and responsibilities to one another at this time on the planet, and really to ourselves as well, primarily to ourselves. So the warrior archetype is one that's quite misunderstood. Lots of people go into this archetype to fight against something, against the system, against a cause, against the world, but in fact it ends up just being a fight against oneself. And the main fight completely gets missed out on, which is the fight for personal freedom and sovereignty, which is, you know, releasing the chains of being our own prisoners and prison guards. Now that's something that we really need to whack, something that we need to focus on to really get that balance and stop having the internal war. The inner war just isn't working for us anymore. Sometimes, you know, big shit happens in life and it's way out of control. It's no one's fault why it happens. We are born innocent, and as we grow up, different emotions start to kind of influence our lives and impact on our lives. And it's the emotional body that is the one that's being really targeted in our life experience right now, which some people say is karmic. And we recycle time and time again and revisit these different roles at different timelines to experience it so that we can move on and evolve. So that's a whole other kōrero. But what actually happens is that we get influence from the time we're in our mother's womb, and then when we exit the mother's womb, our mother, depending on what she's experiencing in her life, will impact on us as well. And family of origin, you know, how we relate to our father, our siblings, our peers, our authority figures. I don't know about you, but I have a problem with authority. Oh, I had one, I should say. And sometimes people, we just don't like being told what to do, right? And that's cool. So it's how to navigate that and how we can work with it in our world. And, you know, basically from womb to tomb, how are we going to navigate this? So, you know, recognizing that we've actually been programmed by our system to perhaps never really fully accept ourselves. The war has become an internal one, and we got fooled by the system and all the lies that we were told about ourselves, let alone, you know, what's really happening in the world. But we believe those lies, you know, that's a tragedy. We actually believe those lies. And the thing is, none of it was true. None of it is true. We are powerful beyond measure, and we got this. We can do whatever we choose, but we have to choose it first. So the system and the messages that are given are not here to help with a true warrior spirit who is pure in nature and who wants to honor the laws of nature, who wants to protect and nurture the planet and love one another and love oneself. Access all the plentiful resources that are here, but not be enslaved to it. And that is a mindset. That's part of alchemy. That's part of being able to magnetize these things to oneself, which comes later. First of all, let's address the self-sabotage warrior. So this warrior doesn't always know where the pain stems from, but they know that they're always in pain, reacting in a forceful way to life, intolerant, quick-tempered, negative thinking, believing that the world is always against them, and always grinding up against it. You know, it's never easy. Nothing's easy for them. They easily get out of balance. They hurt themselves, sometimes deliberately, you know, cutting or smashing walls with bare fists, fighting deliberately just for the sport, being violent communication, abusing people. It's just like natural for them to just abuse people. And, you know, of course, that's a reflection of their inner world when they abuse themselves and, you know, have very little self-love, making bad food choices, you know, and having lots of drugs and alcohol, so abusing themselves on all of the levels possible, you know, pushing away loved ones that care for them. So acting out and exhibiting pure self-hatred and total lack of self-acceptance. Now this is a self-sabotage warrior. This is where I've been at. There's a deep victimization that happens in this role, that gets played out time and time again in this role. It's deep. If you are in any way, shape or form playing this role of this archetype, then it's time. It's time to shake that shit, to shake it out, to whack it permanently, so you don't have to be in pain anymore, so you don't have to have others worry about you, so that you don't have to have your loved ones in pain anymore, worrying about you and suffering from your angry outbursts anymore. Yeah, it's big. It's big. So ask yourself, why am I so angry? Or why am I so fucking angry? Or why am I in so much rage? Where did it come from? What is the source of this? So, you know, always do this deep inquiry. It's there, the answer's there. You sometimes just have to give yourself that time and space so that the answer will unfold, rather than making sure that every space is filled. There's never any void anywhere. So your life is just always kept very busy. If you're not working, then you're gaming, or you're watching TV, or you're zoning out, or you're asleep. You know, like focused intentional time for you to do that deep inquiry and to figure out where the hell this is stemming from is a really good idea. And so how can you express this anger or this rage or these emotions, that doesn't hurt people. That doesn't hurt yourself anymore. How can you do that? That you can safely express that. So, you know, like always validating your emotions, making sure that you are taking responsibility, honoring them, because they're there to show you that you've still got work to do. Yeah, there's still work that needs addressing. You need addressing. You need to clear the field so that you can fill it with other good stuff. Get rid of that shit that doesn't belong anymore. Track where you're going. How are you going to get there? You're not always going to know exactly where those emotions came from. So, you know, sometimes you just have to recognize that you have to just perhaps know that it exists, this emotions charge exists, but perhaps you can't do anything exactly at that time to do anything about it. But know that you do have certain triggers, and using the power of your voice to discharge that energy is a really good idea. You can do this by yelling and screaming, and best to do it away from the people that love you. Yeah, away from them, so that they don't have to get an earful or a fistful or whatever it is that you're trying to discharge. So remote locations, even muffled pillow screams, man, they're really powerful. They can work too. Punching pillows, punching a boxing bag. What I tended to do was I got a baseball bat and I will smash a boxing bag or a kickboxing bag or something like that. But I did actually break the baseball bat in the end. But I found that really powerful for my discharging work. And there are obviously other ways as well. It's a matter of letting this shit out, because it doesn't want to reside in you anymore. Once you make that conscious choice that you want to change, that you don't need this anymore, you want to traverse another path, you want to try and stop being in this zone, in this state of being, because it isn't serving you or anybody else. So it is essential for you to release the charge whenever you feel it arising in you as well. So noticing it, and then doing the work. Acknowledging that our emotions are actually our mirrors as well. So they are a reflection of our inner world. It is an inside job, folks. It's an inside job. This stuff that just doesn't happen on the exterior world. You can't get other people to fix you. You have to fix yourself, and you have to be willing and courageous enough to do this. Whenever you are triggered by other people around you, it's not their fault. It's your response to that can make or break you. Having control over your emotions can be the most freeing experience ever that you could ever possibly wish for. So remember that you can't control other people, but you can control you. And you can control your response to other people. And you can control the way you respond to life. So just a little bit about me. I used to have a major anger problem, especially in partnership, but I mean, it started before then. I had a lot of sibling rivalry, and it was, we used to fist fight and things like that all the time. And when it came to relationship, well, I guess I just reacted the way that I thought one did, which was just, things didn't go your way, just have a patty. Didn't work, folks. It didn't work. And then I lost my first son, and that was huge. I just plunged into this depth of darkness and went into self-sabotage, the warrior, fighting against myself, became a real victim of that. And when it came to relationship, oh my gosh, yeah, just having a string of abusive relationships, that's what I was attracting into my life. Abuse begets abuse. And I had a huge role in perpetuating that. So I had a major anger problem, which ended up becoming I ended up getting a drinking problem as a result of my anger. And drugs were in the mix there as well. In fact, the drinking got so bad and so out of control that I used to have blackouts and not even remember what was even happening the night before. And then I would find out the next day what had happened, and oh my God, so much shame, so much disgust, so much self-loathing. And, it just became this whole cycle of desperation in the end. But I was masking my pain. I was masking all my shame, my blame, my self-hatred. I blamed myself for the loss of my son because, I don't know, he was born with a condition which was always meant that his life was shortened. And, of course, I blamed myself for why did he end up having this condition. So there was a lot of stuff on that level that was going through me, and a lot of self-flagellation as a result of that. But then I knew I needed to desperately do something about it, and then I just gave myself up to this whole new discovery, this self-discovery, which, was pretty much on my own. I found my own tools and ways of being able to support myself and being more compassionate. And one of the key books that actually helped to change my life was the Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. That was amazing. And so cracking into that book and giving me some tools and tricks and tips that supported me to be more compassionate to myself and to honor myself and truly accept myself for perhaps the first time ever. And now I can honestly say that I fully, truly, wholeheartedly accept and love myself with all of my faults and all of my vulnerabilities. And in fact, my vulnerabilities have become my strength. It's been a beautiful journey, I've got to say. It's been a beautiful journey. So now whenever I have a self-defeating thought, I change it immediately. Not putting up with that, no more. Whenever I react to something or get triggered, I pause, I inquire, where is this emotion coming from? Be the observer and then respond. Like there's a lot of power in that. And The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is a really good book to help one get to that point where they can just be the observer and just be really present in the now. So not thinking about the future or the past, but just being very present. If I can't do this easily, then I excuse myself and then I leave and then I figure it out. And, where is this coming from? It's nobody else's fault, the way that I feel right now. So I can't blame anybody for how I'm experiencing my life. So we just need to own it. We just need to totally own it and take full radical self-responsibility for everything, for how we respond, for everything we think, for everything we say, everything we do. And we've just got to change the channel. Stop being in that self-hatred, abuse, the world is against me, to fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's say yes to life. Let's engage in a different mode completely, and one of love and gratitude. And boom, what a difference. This doesn't mean that I'm perfect. Really doesn't. I still make mistakes, but the charge is no longer present, and it doesn't get to control me anymore. With this work, there is a commitment, there's a huge commitment to self, and acknowledging when we're feeling a little worn out by life. A lot of us are operating in a state of exhaustion because we're always working. We haven't been in gratitude. We haven't been able to celebrate our achievements. We haven't really stopped to pause and say, I'm tired, I actually just need to rest for 2 days and do nothing. Not even engage with anybody. It's just be in the silence of the self. And I think that's really important, that we acknowledge that we really honor ourselves. There's also a lot of courage that's involved. It requires one to make a commitment to oneself, a covenant with oneself. And I mean, I'm one that likes to get a balance of everything, because if I'm tired, I don't respond to things very well at all. I know that I need to be at my optimum when I'm hydrated, I'm well fed, I'm having enough nutrients in my body. I suffer from mental health stuff as well, which is a lineage thing. And, I do get depression, and sometimes they get very low in the past, not anymore. So I've got to take my B vitamins, my complex B vitamins, and keep my nutrient levels up. And I use my body as a gauge. So if I feel like a little bit run down, a little bit low in energy, I'll just go and have some greens and salads and, use my body as a barometer to help guide me as to what it needs. If I'm feeling weak, then I'll have some iron, maybe I don't eat meat, so I'll have it in a pill form. But, and then I notice it straight away. It starts working within like the next day. This is how quickly it can happen. And, obviously to keep that real balance, to exercise, to get enough fresh air, to get enough rest, to minimize my amount of time on getting exposed to all the radiation and the Wi-Fi and electromagnetism that's around us. And keeping a good balance of joy and having a bit of fun in life, and taking myself for bushwalks and beach walks, and just creating those little spaces that are really important for us to enjoy. Not just always work, but actually having a bit of joy in life helps. Things that make us feel good are very important. Now, science will tell us that by doing things differently, we create new neural pathways in our brains that help to imprint new information, but they also help to expand our consciousness and awareness. And so that's really good to note, because doing things differently, doing these little exercises where you're not reacting but responding, and taking yourself out, and and listening to your body, and just being really engaged, taking full responsibility, you will create a different experience in your life, and you get to choose how you respond in a different way. So it's quite exciting, isn't it? So stepping into the warrior of love requires all of the things we talked about before, but most importantly, It's about taking radical self-responsibility. I'm going to repeat that again and again. And it's about not blaming or shaming others for who you are. Yeah. You get to choose who you are in every moment. The person you are right now is the person that you choose to be. There are no more victims in this game anymore. But you also get to control you. No one else does. And this is about stepping up, you know, about you stepping up into your true power. No more playing small and no more hiding. It's time to really fully step up and to be truly of service to humanity. But obviously you need to be of service to yourself first, truly honoring you and who you are. And it's time to become the best version of you, so that we can do the greater work of the warrior of love together and help to save this planet and all of the kingdoms within her. So only love can heal. Your choice, your life. That's all I've got to share right now. So blessings to everybody, and I hope this is helpful. If you like what you've heard, then please like this page and subscribe, because there will be more sharings of this sort and many others to come. Ka kite anō. Blessings.